Hi, I'm Frankie.
And I'm Cheyenne.
And we are
Conbini Cult.
Welcome to another episode.
Yeah.
Hopefully another interesting topic.
I think so.
Maybe heated. I'm not really sure how the reaction is going to be to this one.
You think people are going to get heated?
Maybe defensive? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see how many of that group of people we're going to talk about today will come running in the comments because we all know they watch our podcast. Yeah. Probably. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, but before we get into it, maybe some life updates.
Yeah. What did you do?
Shall I share mine first?
Yeah.
Okay. So recently, let's see, what is today? January 12th? So I really love winter. I really love the snow, but it doesn't really snow that much in Osaka City.
Yeah.
Or even Kyoto City. Sometimes there's flurries, but they don't really stick.
Yeah.
So I've been checking the weather for a lot of places to see what I could do for a day trip to see some snow. So it did snow a couple days ago.
Where?
In Ine and Amano Hashidate, northern Kyoto.
I see.
Kyoto by the sea. And a lot of mountain areas also got some snow as well. So I drove up there. I left my house at 4:30 a.m.
Oh.
Because it takes about 2.5 hours to get up to Ine. But I wasn't sure how the roads were going to be.
Oh, I see.
And I wanted to get there for the sunrise and also to kind of avoid the tour buses and stuff. Because usually around 9 or 10 is when buses of people start coming in.
It's like a tourist spot or it's pretty famous?
Kind of. It's sort of famous. It's known as one of the most beautiful villages in Japan. Yeah, so Ine is famous for their boat houses called funaya.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen... You've posted probably a summer version of this area, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a really, really beautiful village. And then, of course, in snow, it's just magical.
Oh, really?
So beautiful.
Ooh, what was the temperature like? Like super cold?
It's hard to say because I feel like if I'm looking at snow, I don't feel cold because I'm just so distracted by the beauty.
I see, yeah.
But I get kind of annoyed here because I'm it's cold for no reason.
For
There's
no
no
reason.
Snow,
That's
so
true.
What's the point of this?
It's so windy and you're just cold all the time. Even though it's sunny outside too, it just feels so much colder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Fine.
I was nervous about that drive though because now we have an electric vehicle and I'm not really used to driving an electric car and figuring out where to charge it and stuff. So I went by myself because my partner is working in London for the next few days. So as soon as I got there, because it took a while, there was not really traffic or anything, but the roads were snowy, so I had to drive much slower than the normal conditions. So by the time I got there, the car had 50% battery left, and I was like,
that's kind of scary.
I don't know if I can get home.
So
I'm calling him where can I charge it?
Yeah.
So you need for some of these charging stations, you need a membership. Yeah, but he had the card, so he told me where it was, and then also there's an app where you can search for charging stations. I was able to find something.
That's good.
On the way home.
I'm a little unfamiliar. Does that car not run on gas too? It's 100%.
It's not a hybrid. It's 100% electric.
Wow. Then that is scary when you're 50%. Yeah.
Yeah, but everything worked out great. The snow was beautiful, and also I made it home.
Yeah, you're safe.
Yeah, because I was wondering what if this car loses battery? Does it just
just stop
in the middle of the highway or something? I have no idea. Because usually with gas vehicles,
you have
if you're running out of gas, the light comes on, and then there's a specific amount of kilometers you can still keep going, but you definitely need to get gas as soon as possible. But with electric vehicles, I have no idea what happens when it loses battery.
It just malfunctions or shuts down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder. You have to be really one of those people that's really on top of charging their phones and charging their things to own that kind of car for sure. My partner, sorry. No. We could not. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how mine does it, but yeah.
That sounds fun. I've never been to that town you went to. I didn't even know the name of it. I think I've seen a video and then I forgot what the name. So you never think to go to these areas that are really big in the summer or especially coastal areas to go in the winter and how different they look. Yeah.
Yep.
Have you ever been to the Tottori sand dunes in the winter?
No.
That's really fun
snow?
to see. Yeah. And so Tottori snows a lot in the winter actually. So if you ever...
Yeah, I've been to Mount Dyson.
Yeah. So Dyson has good snowboarding and everything too. But so if you go to the sand dunes in winter, just imagine, you know, those dunes, like everything you see that is sand, depending on how heavy the snow is, but usually it's heavy every year, it's just covered in white. So it looks like snowy mountains almost.
Interesting. Maybe I can head there this year.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. It's very beautiful. And again, a different like kind of scenery that you wouldn't expect, especially from me, like at the beach to be snow. Like it was really interesting to look at the ocean, but then like have it be snowing on me. And then depending how deep the snow is, like with your footprint, or like if you dig deep enough, obviously there's sand underneath, so it just like it feels like weird, like almost unnatural.
Interesting.
But it's fun. It's really pretty there in the summer, or sorry, in the winter.
Ine is also by the sea, but it's not really like a sandy beach because the houses are right on the water. What is the expectancy of those houses like if a disaster comes, you know, like even a typhoon, right? It's got to be kind of insane. I wonder about that area because it's kind of like what would you call it, like an inlet? So maybe it's kind of protected in some way.
What's the history of that village? I mean, I assume a fishing village then. And then do you know, like, is everyone's occupation there just like fishing? Like that's the main kind of export out of there is just fishing, and any young people live there? I think that's
mostly older people who live there. I haven't seen a lot of children there. But it's also a very tiny village too. So a lot of the people that I see, I mean, there's some obviously people who live there and then a few cafes and restaurants and stuff there. But haven't really seen a lot of little kids. So I've been there a few times.
Well, maybe
I'm not too sure.
You can do your, what's it, like that digital nomad thing, or what's it called?
The RRC program.
RRC program, and live up there. Be a fisherman.
Maybe. Maybe.
But speaking of disasters, we're talking about like snow disasters and stuff. This isn't a life update. Just kind of reminded me of the times we're in. Are you keeping up with the LA fires? And
yes.
Yeah. So I didn't have any personal life updates, but I do have a lot of, you know, like friends and acquaintances that live in the LA area. Thankfully, you know, they're far enough. Some of them haven't had to evacuate yet or anything, but it is pretty insane what's going on there now, and a lot of homes have burned down. So
it is really sad to see. So if any of our viewers or listeners are in that area, we hope you are safe.
Safe, evacuated, or live in an area where you don't have to evacuate, but be safe. Best wishes to you.
Yes. So actually, it kind of ties into today's topic because people are just finding out, I mean, myself included, that like one billionaire couple owns most of the water in California.
Oh, I had no idea.
Like 60-something% of the water.
Like the drinking water, or like the coast, like beach property? Like, what do you mean by water?
I assumed it was like drinking and showering kind of water.
And so what? They're like withholding firefighters from using water and stuff?
I don't know about that.
Is what I assume. I don't know. Sorry, I just kind of put them in a bad people box, but
billionaires. But they cut, I mean, not this couple, but like California cut the budget for the fire department and increased the police budget for some reason.
I saw something like that,
so kind of ties into billionaires. So.
I guess so, we can jump into it.
Shall we get into it?
I'm just confused, like, so they own the water and you're sharing it, right? Like, what do you mean you own the water? Like, that's crazy.
Well, because you know how even in Japan, like, you have to pay for the water that you use to, like, wash the dishes or take a shower or whatever. So I think it's, like, privately owned by this couple, most of it.
So
not like government-owned water reserves.
So they own 60% of the water and then 40% just for the rest of LA County. I don't know how any of that works, but, like, sorry, it's weird to say, like, I own... Like, land kind of makes sense because you can, like, see it in a way, you know, like, this is your property. I don't know. Maybe my brain is, like, not functioning, like, what's not clicking in my brain about owning water, but, I don't know.
It sounds very dystopian.
Yeah. But good segue into your topic today.
So, I mean, the ethics or lack thereof of billionaires has been a pretty heated topic for a long time. even before Luigi Mangione.
Oh, yeah. I didn't forget, but yeah.
But I was curious if Japan has any billionaires, and if so,
where are they?
How many? Who are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Japan has wealth disparity as well. It is a capitalist country. But even among like the unhoused population, for example, there are unhoused people in Japan, even though the average tourist won't see them because they're very hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't compare to the huge number that is in the U.S. But yeah, there is an unhoused population in Japan as well.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a super wealthy population too. But I feel like they're a bit more low key
I
than
feel
in
like
the U.S.
That's what I think. Because like I don't know if my knowledge or lack thereof of Japanese, billionaires and like just the wealthy in general is so little because they're low key, or like I don't know if it's like because I'm not Japanese, I've just never heard of these people in my life, so I never like think about them, or if it's like because they're low key. Because like wealth in America is very much like something you show off. Again, not all people, because there's like old money, new money, like different ways like people show off their wealth and everything like that. But I feel like you kind of just know who has money, whether they're like a celebrity or not. Like they can be a famous family for other reasons, but I know nothing about like wealthy people in Japan, so I'm excited to learn.
Yeah, so I wanted to look more into that. So what we're going to cover today, who are the richest people in Japan?
Okay.
What are the origins of capitalism in Japan? How much money does the royal family have? Japan does have a royal family.
I forgot about that.
If you haven't forgotten.
Yeah. I did. I forget.
And then inheritance tax and other taxes, a little bit about the poverty rates. And then also to end on a light note, we'll talk about this guy, Jake, on TikTok, who was a nanny for a very rich family.
Ooh, shout out. Throwback. I don't think he's
We miss you, Jake. No, he doesn't
post anymore.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
All right, into the...
Yeah.
Just get right into it.
Okay.
So who are the richest people in Japan? So just as a note, the list that we're going to be referring to, it came from Forbes.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough,
Yeah.
so they're listing everybody's net worth in USD.
I mean, yeah, because Forbes is an American site, or magazine,
Yeah.
But
So
why? Not why, but like interesting that because I guess is this a worldwide list? Do they have like billionaires of Japan, billionaires of like Germany or whatever?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume so.
Yeah.
If they have it for Japan, I assume they do for other countries too. But yeah, it was just interesting to me because the value of the yen is dropping so much.
Yeah.
But even despite that, these
they're
people on this
billionaires,
list still have billions of
USD.
dollars.
Yeah.
So in yen, whoa.
Yeah, and well, I'm excited to learn because when you brought up, you wanted to research this topic, I was gonna think like, how would you research it? Because like if you're searching Japanese billionaires, I mean, obviously probably things in Japanese would come up, but that just sounded like really hard
in
to
yen,
search.
Like trillions, maybe.
Yeah. So it's interesting that Forbes has this list. Nice.
Yeah. So initially I Googled like how many billionaires are in Japan and Google said 41. But then looking at the Forbes list of the top 50 richest people in Japan, 49 of them have at least 1 billion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it makes you a billionaire, I guess. Yeah. 1 billion.
So, 40-something billionaires in Japan.
Oh.
Of course, the U.S. has the most.
Yeah.
With over 700 billionaires.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How do you... I definitely thought like the U.S. was also in that.
China's the second.
Not 40s, maybe like 100 or something. I would not guess 700.
No,
like
over 700. And then I think China has over 500.
Wow. That's like... So the U.S. to have 700 and China to have 500. And then Japan only has 49 or like 50.
Yeah,
right?
but the population is much bigger in the U.S.
Yeah, that's true. But like
China.
that's just such a gap almost considering like, I don't know, Japan's place in the world too. I don't know if they're doing well economically anymore, but like,
I don't know
like
of late.
there's just such a gap. Okay, anyway, please get into it. Sorry, I was interrupting.
Yeah. So taking a look into who some of these people are, like we'll mostly look at the top 3.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the number 1 richest person in Japan has a net worth of $38 billion.
Okay.
Number 2 has $27 billion. Number 3 has $21 billion. We will go into them a little bit more, by the way. The rest of the people on there are single digits, so less than 10 billion. And those ranked between 23 and 49 are between 1 and 2 billion. So it's not like several billion dollars, if that is any better. I don't know. And the 50th person on that wrist. On that wrist.
On that wrist. Oop. On that wrist.
Flick of the wrist.
Oop.
The 50th richest person on that list has a modest $980 million net worth.
Oh, we're going to call it modest. Okay.
Yeah. So this link will be linked below with all the other sources as usual. So you can find that in the YouTube description and the show notes.
Okay.
So, yeah, these are just some of the industries.
Okay, yeah. So some of the industries range from fashion and retail, finance and investments, manufacturing, logistics, food and beverage, real estate, gambling, and so on. So a variety of industries.
Yes.
Gambling. Oh, like pachinko parlor owners and stuff?
Yeah, one of them was
I see.
in the industry of like gambling and casinos.
Oh, okay. Because gambling is illegal in Japan, is it not? I know pachinko technically doesn't like count as gambling, so it's interesting how they categorize it in the gambling. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. But that's how Forbes categorized it.
I see.
I don't know if in Japan they would call it.
Yeah. What would you call it?
Just pachinko.
Pachinko. Okay.
Yeah. So the richest man in Japan, who is he? Does this surprise you?
No. Like, I don't know why. So I kind of...
Well, could you read his title?
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Before I just start talking about someone. So the richest man in Japan is the Uniqlo CEO, Tadashi Yanai. And he's estimated worth $38 billion, as Frankie mentioned earlier.
Yep.
So when I was reading and lurking on your notes in the wee hours of the night, I saw like, you know, you had a list of like who's like the richest person in Japan or like who's top of the list. And I don't know like why I did not think of this guy like at first.
Yeah, that was not my first thought. I thought maybe like an investment bank owner.
Yeah, like someone like unknown or like maybe do you know who Momofuku Ando is? I'm surprised he's not on this list, but maybe he's too old. He created Cup Noodle. Yeah, so I was like, maybe him.
Maybe his family is on the list. I don't remember all 50 people.
That's true. That's true.
Because some of them were like individuals, some of them were couples, and then some of them were families.
I see. Yeah, but so when I cheated and like kind of looked at this list a little bit beforehand, the Tadashi Yanai, the Uniqlo CEO, when he came up, I was like, oh, duh. Like I don't know why I like did not think of him.
Yeah,
you know?
that was my thought too. Okay. Yeah, because it's a global company. So. Yeah, do you want to read a little bit from his profile?
Yeah, so according to Forbes, Tadashi Yanai built and runs the Tokyo-listed retail clothing empire, Fast Retailing, parent of the Uniqlo chain. And Fast Retailing's other brands include Theory, Helmut Lang, please help me read this word.
Is it Helmut Lang?
Helmut Lang, J-Brand, and GU. The company reported net profit of $2 billion on revenue of $19 billion for the fiscal year ended August 2023. Flagship brand Uniqlo has nearly 2,500 stores across 25 countries. And Yanai wants his company to become the world's largest retailer, which means it would have to surpass H&M and Inditex, so parent of Zara. Yeah.
Yeah. So my little note on here was, you know, H&M and Zara are already notoriously unethical companies. So for the goal to be to surpass them, it's a little scary to me, I think.
Yeah. And they make like, I mean, I'm sure they do to an extent. Like Uniqlo has those boxes in the stores, right, where like you can recycle your linens and stuff. But like, how legit is that?
Those are, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but I just think it's kind of like silly that they're sending the clothes right back to the people who are making them for probably not a livable wage.
Yeah, it's not good, but I'm a little unfamiliar with like how all of that kind of works. But
it's also, I mean, I'm not sure about Uniqlo, but I think with either H&M or Zara, somebody tracked like where did those clothes actually go, and they sent them to a landfill.
Of course, not they
anywhere
do.
To actually recycle them.
Yeah, where is it? I mean, I'm sure it's like a lot of countries, but like you ever see the clothing landfills, and not just from like Zara and H&M or anything, just like in general, like all the Shein bags and stuff that like end up there. And it's really, really sad to see. And I'm not saying that like I'm a saint and I know how to perfectly recycle all of my clothes, but I try my best. Yeah.
Same. So I kind of wanted to look into how ethical Uniqlo is.
Okay.
People probably don't want to hear this, but yeah. So there's a website that's called Good On You. It is a website that does investigations of fashion brands to see how ethical they are. Their rating system goes from 1 to 5, with the highest rating being great, followed by good, then it's a start, then not good enough, and lastly, we avoid.
Oh.
So I'm sure like Shein is probably in the we avoid
category.
But I checked Uniqlo's rating on there, and there is some interesting stuff regarding their labor conditions.
Okay.
So it says...
Uniqlo's labor rating has gone up from not good enough to it's a start. So they're in the middle now, about 3 out of 5. It scores 41 to 50% in the Fashion Transparency Index. So public disclosure of human rights and environmental policies, practices, and impacts in their operations and supply chains. Its social auditing program covering its entire final production stage is accredited by Fair Labor Association, or the FLA. The real disappointment here is that there is still no evidence Uniqlo ensures public... Oh my God. Sorry. A real disappointment here is that there's still no evidence Uniqlo ensures payment of a living wage, which puts a damper on the fact that the brand disclosed adequate policies to protect suppliers and workers from the impacts of COVID-19. Workers ought to be taken care of at all times, not just in light of a pandemic. To make matters worse, the brand has been caught up in an ongoing workers' rights case for years and owes Indonesian garment workers $5.5 million worth of severance pay. Uniqlo must take responsibility for the people in its supply chain before it can be considered a more ethical company, and it can certainly afford to do so. That's true.
So I did find an article about this thing that they're going through with the Indonesian garment workers. It's called Uniqlo and the Women Owed $5.5 million. I'll link that if you want to read it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, just my little note is that, you know, most garment workers are women.
Yeah.
And I mean, you should care about the labor conditions regardless. But if you claim to care about women's rights, then you probably should at least want to know more and be mindful about the conditions of the clothing that you're buying. So.
Yeah, that's true. And as someone like, you said, what is that app called, or what is that website called?
Good on you.
Good on you. I was going to say good for you.
Good for you. Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, good for you. But good on you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like shame people for buying the clothes that they can afford, but like the reason, you know, that these fast fashion companies, it's because people like, you know, buying more than they need.
That's true.
So if you're buying something and you like, you know, you cherish it and you wear it, then like
that's fine. It is what it is. Yeah. As a very frequent Uniqlo shopper and Uniqlo wearer, I am in no place to say like don't shop here or don't buy this product, but I shop what is available to me. Yeah. In my size, especially here in Japan, and you know, but be more conscious.
I think it's just good to be aware.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So back to the billionaires.
Sorry.
So who are the second and third richest people in Japan?
Well, the second is Masayoshi Son, who founded and runs the investment giant SoftBank Group.
Yeah, you know SoftBank, right?
Yeah, the
internet and other stuff.
Oh, I forgot they're like, I guess they're everything, huh? Internet, phone, anything else? I know they own a baseball team.
They probably own like so many like subsidiaries.
Yeah. That one makes sense too. I never thought it'd be second, but I mean, again, makes sense.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, wow.
Okay. And who is the third richest person in Japan?
The third richest is Takemitsu Takizaki, who's the founder of Cheyenne. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. A supplier of sensors and electronic components for factory automation systems. Oh, so he stepped down though. Yeah.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah, in 2015. But he's on the board of directors and stuff. But Never heard of that company.
The honorary chairman.
Yeah.
I think you will have seen their factories, though.
Cheyenne's?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Where in Osaka or?
I think everywhere.
Oh.
Because, like, yeah, I know when I'm driving around, there's, like, huge factories and with Cheyenne's on the sign.
I see.
Yeah.
Again, like, I don't expect myself to know so many billionaires, but, like, these names, I'm like, oh, like, cool. Besides the Uniqlo guy.
Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to share the top 3. But, of course, again, you can take a look at that list. And then there's profiles for all of them on there. They don't all have photos. No. But they all have a little bit of information about who they are. So, yeah. So how about Japan as a capitalist country? It was not always this way.
Really? Yeah. Like, truly, I don't know anything about Japanese history or, like, economics.
Well, here's just a very short summary.
Sure. So there was the Meiji Restoration in 1868, which ended the Tokugawa shogunate and restored imperial rule. We'll talk about the royal family in a minute, but in short, they do have some duties today, but they don't have political power. Oh, I didn't know. Anyway, Japan became a capitalist economy towards the end of the 19th century after the Meiji Restoration in 1868. Yeah. Oh, did not know that.
Late 19th century.
Yeah. How about, I'm so embarrassed for not knowing this. How about the U.S.? Always, like, since, what the heck is going on out there?
I'm going to hide these statistics from you now
to
see how surprised or unsurprised you are, maybe.
Okay. Oh, fun. I like a challenge. I like a quiz.
Yeah. So getting into the royal family, Japan does have a royal family.
Yeah.
The emperor, empress, and imperial family. It's pretty similar to the British royal family. They don't have any political power, technically. However, they do have a lot of property and, of course, money.
Yeah.
And imperial family members even have an annual allowance appropriated by the Diet, which consists of the House of Representatives, House of Councilors, etc. So some stats from 2024.
Oh, very recent.
Personal expenses. So for each member of the inner court, this is stipulated by law, their budget, it was 324 million yen, which is around 2 million USD per person.
Okay.
Personal expenses.
Per person. Okay.
Yeah. And then their annual allowance, again, for each member of the imperial family, 264 million yen, which is around 1.7 million USD.
Okay.
Okay. And then palace-related expenses for 2024 were 9.55 billion yen, around 61 million USD.
Okay.
And the annual budget does come from taxpayer money.
Right, that was my question. Yes. Okay.
Just a crazy thought, but perhaps the pension system could be salvaged with a little bit of budget cuts from the royal family. Yeah. Perhaps. I don't know.
What kind of personal costs are we talking? Like, don't you just sit in that, what do you even call it, palace like all day?
I don't know.
What do they do? Because do they, like, I know they don't have any, like, political power, so what?
They
do
make
they go
public
to, like,
appearances and stuff, but...
But, like, doing what? Do they go to, like, I don't know, government? Well, because you don't have any political power, so I guess you wouldn't go to, like, government-related, like, meetings or events or anything, but, like... I don't know. Do they go to, like, conferences? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
The only time I mean,
Yeah, I know who the emperor is, and, like, I've seen on TV, like, the members of the royal family. Yeah. I also saw the previous emperor. Yeah. Who's, you know, very elderly. Yeah, I saw he and his wife, like, drive by in a car before somewhere in Tokyo. They were, like, waving to everybody.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I waved to them.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
I mean, it's cool, but the only thing I know about them was when the daughter, what do you even call it? She married a commoner. She married a commoner, and she, like, lives in New York now, and then that became, like, big news, and that's, like, the only time I've ever, like, really seen who they are and knew things about them, barely even. Yeah.
The princess married a commoner. But that also makes you wonder, like, if they're not supposed to marry commoners, if that's such a big deal, who are they marrying?
Yeah, or, like, you have to be of a certain status. Because, like, so the emperor,
this
right?
goes for any royalty, not just Japanese royalty. I'm wondering, like, who are you allowed to marry then?
I mean,
the pool is not that big.
Isn't like the British royal family? I mean, now these days, of course not. But like, I'm sure back in the day, isn't it? Like, isn't that how all royalty works? It's a lot of like inbreeding.
Probably.
Yeah. So like, what about the older, like, you know, the elderly emperor, right? I'm sure like he's born into the family, and then so his wife, yeah, she just like of a high status of another family, or
I think
like
so.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, if it's just like
I'm not
arranged
100%
or
sure,
what.
yeah.
But good for her.
Probably arranged.
Yeah, good for the daughter for like, I don't know, just being normal and like going out of her pool and just marrying some dude, because they met in like college or something.
Yeah,
I think they just
so,
like yeah. So they seem happy and free, and he's like a lawyer going to law school, and that's why he went to New York and stuff. Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't know. Maybe one of these days we can do a deep dive on the royal family.
Maybe. Like, I don't know anything about them enough to like make comments other than personal ones that are like, who are they? What's going on? And then that's for like the British royal family too. Sorry, but I do not care about any of that. Like, even the drama side of it, I don't care who is married to who. Princess Diana, love you, girl. Like,
I just care about Princess Diana.
Yeah, that's the only one where like I'll take the time to like learn more about, even though she was a commoner, right? And then that's kind of like before we're not even that old, but like before our time.
Well, I thought they called her the People's Princess just because she did so much awesome, like charity.
Yeah, but I don't think she was royal. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Anyway, I don't really care about like all of that stuff super, super in detail, but I should have known, but like did not think that all of the royal family in Japan was funded by taxpayer money. Yeah.
Okay. So I was scrolling on Reddit and I saw a thread where someone was asking why Tokyo has so few billionaires compared to other countries. And this comment stuck out to me. So somebody said, taxes. I thought about living in Japan, but taxes are high for people with money from investments. Inheritance tax is especially crazy high for the wealthy people. Many rich Japanese used to leave the country to avoid paying inheritance taxes, but the government has gotten even stricter with rules as a result. Places like Singapore have tax laws that attract wealthy people from other countries. Japan does the opposite.
Oh, interesting.
So then I wanted to look up about inheritance tax.
Yeah, again, because I don't really know what that is.
Yeah, so I found an article from Nikkei Asia. So here is just the important parts. So
the article says, historically, Japan has had fewer billionaires than other countries due to its high inheritance tax rates of up to 55%. In 2022, according to the UBS Global Wealth Databook, there were 1,094 Japanese with a net worth of $100 million or more, putting Japan 13th behind India, Russia, South Korea, and Switzerland. However, that may be changing thanks to a reflating economy and booming financial markets. Takayuki Sato, president of Private Bank, is a close observer of this trend. Sato's private bank offers services to dozens of wealthy families with at least 10 billion yen in financial assets. There has been an increase in wealthy individuals due to its rising real estate prices, a booming stock market, more startups going public, and more people making money with cryptocurrencies, said Sato, who doubles as the head of the joint venture Money Forward Private Bank. Japanese stock prices have risen about 50% since the start of 2022, while Tokyo condominium prices are at an all-time high. Wealthy people today are much keener on investment than before because of the sharp depreciation of the yen, which has lost 27% of its value versus the dollar since the beginning of 2022. People's attitude towards money has changed in Japan, Sato said. People no longer think it's a bad thing to want to increase their wealth. They think what's important is how the money is being used.
Interesting. So there might be more billionaires in the future.
Do we need any more? Yeah. It's an interesting take, though, to say, he said people no longer think it's a bad thing to want to increase their wealth. I don't know. It just feels like, is that like a Japanese thing?
Well, because Japan is such a collective society.
That's true. I feel like...
I mean, there's some like individualistic things, but for the most part, it's like, about the the group
Yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like a lot of Westerners, like the only thing they think about is increasing their wealth.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
I read that and I was like a little taken aback, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing.
I hope I'm like dead by then. I don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting. They said the inheritance tax is up to 55%.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I doubt it's that high in the U.S.
Oh, no. No. Isn't that like what rich people are always like fighting against? Is like, because, you know, middle class and everyone is like tax the rich, like, because you.
Yeah, like you get taxed on your income. But if you have money from like family money, then that's not
true.
being taxed the same way.
Because that's how, I mean, old money stays in the family, right? In the U.S. So.
That's how old money stays old.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Very interesting. So I also wanted to look up a bit about the poverty rates. So I found an article from March 2024 titled, "More than 40% of single elderly women struggle to live in poverty." I clicked on this article because there was a specific statistic that I was looking for, but the article itself was very informative. But that's another issue that maybe we could talk about in the future.
Yeah, poverty
among the elderly and especially
Oh, yeah.
elderly women. But yeah, they said, according to the Welfare Ministry's 2021 survey, Japan's poverty rate stands at 15.4%, with the rate for children at 11.5%. That's interesting that they calculate children separately.
Yeah, why is that? I don't know.
Yeah, 15%. I assume that's less than the U.S., but still, like...
It's a higher number than I thought. Yeah.
More than I thought, too.
And, sorry, did you say, like, what counts as... like, what threshold is there where you're counted as in poverty?
One moment.
Okay. Oh, no problem. Sorry.
Okay, so just a quick Google search says Japan doesn't have an official poverty line, but relative poverty is defined as a household income at or below half of the median household income. For example, a household of one parent and one child is considered relatively poor if their monthly income is 140,000 yen or less.
Yeah, that's really hard to live on for a parent and a child together.
Even a single person.
Yeah, that's very true. That's really low.
Which is not even $1,000
a month.
USD per month. For a parent and child,
that's rough.
For anybody, but especially someone with kids. And then, so that's all the depressing stuff. So I wanted to end on.
So now that we're sad.
Now we're going to try to cheer you guys up, maybe.
Wait, well, have you ever thought you wanted to be a billionaire?
No.
Really? Like when you're a kid even? Like when you just like think money is just like money? You never thought like...
Maybe a millionaire, but a million and a billion are so
That's true, yeah.
So
I guess a billion is just... It's a lot of money. Sorry, I just thought of...
It's more than anybody could ever spend in a lifetime.
Bruno Mars. I want to be... Wait, does he say I want to be a millionaire or billionaire?
I want to be a billionaire. So freaking bad. Yeah, so do you remember... I think it was 2021 that this guy Jake was going viral on TikTok.
Yes.
For his stories about being a nanny to a very wealthy Japanese family in Okinawa.
Yes, and I really remember him because he's also from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Shout out.
He's back in Hawaii now.
Yeah. Don't know what he's doing.
Hi, Jake. I don't know if you listened to our podcast, but I met up with him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think, was it last summer or the year before in Kyoto because he was visiting Japan.
Oh, fun.
So we had lunch.
Oh, fun. Yeah, he's really nice.
Really fun. He doesn't really post on TikTok anymore, though. But I'll link his account because those stories are still up.
Oh, are they? Ooh,
very interesting. So I think he started on the JET program.
Yeah.
And they sent him to Okinawa. Like
maybe.
You can put in your application form, right? Like places you would like to be.
Yeah.
But they don't always listen.
They don't always listen, especially and to get Okinawa, I don't know, because actually I know quite a few people from Hawaii who get sent to Okinawa. And I don't know if it's because JET coordinators see oh, you're from an island, you wouldn't complain, or you could get used to island life if you get sent off to Okinawa.
Yeah. Well, he said that he put I want to go anywhere except Okinawa.
That's so fun.
Too similar.
Then that sucks for him. If I go Okinawa, I probably would never leave. But usually everyone on their JET application, they always put Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, you know? And then, so of course you don't, get those places.
Yeah.
If you're putting, Aomori or, Hokkaido, I'm sure you get sent there right away because,
they need people.
But I didn't know he didn't choose that place. That's kind of funny. Makes sense why he wouldn't want to go. But, yeah.
Yeah. So he was working through the JET program, and then somehow the family of one of his students asked if he would be their full-time nanny.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And then the rest is history.
Yeah. So he would just make these videos about like just the behavior of the family, the
spending habits of like the daughter usually, and just like, and of course he didn't disclose like anyone's information or you know, we don't know the ID of these people or anything like that. He did keep it very vague. Well, we have no idea who they are. But yeah, they were so fun to watch. I love that series when they were coming out, and yeah,
I went back to his account this morning just to, you know, refresh myself on some of these stories. So some of the most notable ones. So the little girl wanted to start a garden.
Remember?
So the family bought an entire apartment building so she could make a garden in the yard, like in front of the building.
That's so gnarly. What do you mean? Like just for the yard? What are they doing with the units in the apartment?
I guess renting them, or maybe using them for employees, probably.
I would hope so.
They
like,
have
I hope
like
they're
a
being
huge
used.
network of like real estate and employees and stuff.
I see. Yeah, I would hope they used it for something, you know?
So in one of Jake's videos, he also talked about how whenever the daughter wanted food, they would have to find the top seller in the country and get like the very best, the most expensive version of this food. So there was one time she wanted mangoes, so he had to find the top mango seller in Japan, and they got 500,000 yen worth of mangoes. Oof. So like 4,000, maybe a little more than 4,000-ish.
Yeah, dollars, yeah.
And the girl ate one of them, and then she asked her mom, like, are these nutritious? And the mom was like, yeah, they have nutrition. And then she cut them up and put them like in the garden to fertilize her
Hey, at least she's
flowers.
keeping up that garden, I guess.
Yeah. Jake also said he was not, one of the rules was he cannot say no to the daughter. So anywhere she wanted to go, anything she wanted to eat, yeah, he had to do it.
I hope there was like boundaries to that though, right? If she was like, hit yourself in the face, like would he have to say no? You know what I mean?
Okay, that's a good one.
Like I assume it's for spending and like for activities, not for like harm.
Yeah. Hopefully she didn't ask him to hit himself or something like that.
I hope not.
Yeah. And then there was also one video where he was talking about like punishments for employees who messed up. Like there were two guys who were like drinking or something. I think most of them worked either like 6 or 7 days a week, like the family's employees. Yeah. So when they would, I don't know, like go out and have fun and
like on their day off, right?
Have a
like
normal
they're not
life
working,
or something. Yeah. So one of the punishments that they would send people to do was like going out to one of the farms to shovel like animal poop.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, that's part of working on a farm. Yeah. But if it's not your normal job, let's say you're like, I don't know, a chef or something, and then they send you out to the farm to shovel poop. Yeah. But then they would also, like the little girl would want to go there sometimes and be like, oh, I want to like laugh
Make fun of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they would send other like employees too to go and laugh at them while they were doing this cleaning stuff.
I wonder, is there like a support group for these employees? I gotta see if there's like, we gotta search the Japanese side of TikTok where there's a Japanese person out there, like an ex-employee that was like, I was a ex like blah 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 worker for this family, and then they gotta see like share some of their stories from their point of view. Yeah,
I feel like maybe Jake was able to do it because he's foreign, and also he eventually did leave Japan. Yeah, because I feel like it's very strict in Japan about like
defamation.
Yeah, defamation
like talking
stuff.
About your job.
Because even like leaving a bad review for a company can get you in trouble sometimes. Like they could countersue you or something.
That's very true.
And we also have a friend who was working at a shoe store, and she made a TikTok video talking about
just things that happened at that store.
Yeah, like not her coworkers or anything, but just how overwhelmed everybody was because she was working at a location in a very heavily touristy area. So everybody was just really overworked and stuff. So she made a video about that, and then the company eventually found it and told her to take it down.
Not mentioning the name.
Yeah,
or
she
anything,
never even said the name of the company.
Yeah. So it is pretty gnarly. So if you ever, I mean, we all have bad days at work, you know. So if you ever do take to social media to, you know, rant or anything, and you're working in Japan, just be careful. Yep. Use these examples as, I guess, some reference for, I don't know, not outing yourself too much, I guess, because you never know, especially like when you think about the different laws and stuff, like I was very unfamiliar with like the defamation laws and like the policies around it until, you know, I lived here like, I don't know, for a long time, like 5 years in. So I had no idea.
Yeah, maybe we can do an episode about that, like defamation laws and some of the craziest lawsuits.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
That might be fun. But, yeah. Anyway, that's what we have for billionaires.
I'm still tripping out about the mangoes. Sorry, I want to see how good those mangoes were if they're 500,000 yen. Like I asked you earlier, like, did you ever want to be a billionaire or like a, you know, rich when you're a kid? And like, you know, whoever says, in my humble opinion, whoever says like money can't buy happiness, to an extent, sure, but also like, come on. Like money is like in this society, it's so necessary for so many things to be comfortable. Like I just want it to be comfortable at this point. Like
I think that's what most of us want.
Yeah.
Just to have enough to like not worry.
Yeah. But like I don't know. I hope that, and like in this little girl's defense, because like children aren't born a certain way. I don't know. Like I haven't seen the videos in a long time, so I don't know if there's any comments out there about this like 8-year-old girl, right? That are like, oh, she's the worst, or like, how dare her, whatever. Like kids are a product. I doubt it. Yeah, like but
it's
if
probably more on like the parents.
Yeah,
like, they're not setting any boundaries for this
sure.
little girl.
That's what I just wanted to mention is like kids are a product of their environment, and so if this little girl is being raised to like never be told no, and like. Kids don't know like the difference between 500,000 yen mangoes and like 500 yen mangoes. You know what I mean? Like unless you're just born and like raised to know the difference. Like, you know what I mean? Like kids just don't know stuff like that. And so the fact that she's so young and like knows how to request these things, it's like, yeah, that's just a product of her upbringing. So I don't know why I like got so defensive over this like little 8-year-old girl, but just in case, you know. Like,
I don't think we gave off that vibe. But
no,
no slander to the little girl. She's a kid.
I was reading, or we were going through the examples, and all I could think is just like some weirdos on TikTok out there who are like going to comment some nasty things about a kid. That's all. That's where my mind went.
No. She's just a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Jake, hope you're happy. Hope you're healthy. Yeah. Hit us up if you're ever in Japan again.
Come back to Japan, hang out with us.
Tell us more stories.
Yeah.
I want to see who these people are, though. I want to meet a millionaire, like undercover boss in Japan, and see what they're like. But yeah.
Well, all right.
That was interesting.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought about the episode. If there's anything you would like us to talk about in the future, let us know. If you have your own stories to share.
Yeah. I would like to, at the beginning when we first started the podcast, we did a lot more like poll-based things.
Yeah,
like
we can do
send
more
a lot of
stuff.
polls. So if you'd like us to do like some more poll stuff, or if you want to send in any submissions about like some topics too, that could be fun too in the future.
Yeah.
I could definitely branch out and stop talking about TV. But again, that's like, I'm like such a fiend for TV and movies. That's all I like to do. But anyway, yeah, let us know.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for watching, listening. Bye.